Practice maybe we can use it back
Sorry?
to replace the word consequence. We can use the word feedback.
Okay, so we've got a short text. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines long. We've identified immediately objectives, deviation, circumstances, consequence. So we've got 3 out of 5 lines with difficult words. What about if you just rewrote the text? Could you rewrite this and make it simpler? Would you like to have a try? I'll give you 3 or 4 minutes to rewrite. You can rewrite any of the ones that you want. Now, there are no right and wrong answers. So what you're doing is bringing the language down, but you're keeping the content the same. Thank you. Okay, so don't change the content, just make the language easier, okay? You can work alone or you can work in groups.
4 of them.
Choose one, just one. Yes, yeah. No, the 4 would take too long. That's fine. No problem. I would be the same, don't worry. Okay. Can anyone think of how to make potential events simpler? So what are potential events? Things that are going to happen in the future. Yeah. So you might need more words. Yeah. But you have to try to explain what it means. So as we said before, to describe it. Yeah. So if we can describe it simply, then they will understand it. Yeah. Any other contributions that anyone would like to share? Yes. Which one did you do? Uh-huh.
This is the uncertainty of an effect on objective, which can be positive or negative.
Okay. Would you teach the words objective and uncertainty? Oh, is goal lower language level than objective? Or is it maybe just another word at the same level? Propose. Oh, that's a hard word, propose. What does that mean? It's really, oh, that's a So what are objectives, goals, and aims? What are they? So if we think about describing the word, maybe using more simple words, let's bring achieve down. The things that you want to do. To do. Okay. Yes. A1, A2 would understand to get. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Oh, they might get target. They might. But A1, A2 is quite a low level. So we need to keep the meaning the same, but bring it down. Yeah. You might have students that are of or a class that's of a higher level. So the activity would be the same, but you would bring the language down, maybe not 2 or 3 levels. You might bring it down 1. So you might be able to use target for a better class, yeah? But if it's your A1, your A2, when you're describing it, just it uses more words, but keep your words your basic things that people or someone wants to do, yeah? Okay. Any other contributions before we move on? Now, language simplification is not easy. It's one of the most difficult things to do when you're teaching. You're not teaching. When you're teaching English as a foreign language, yeah? So don't think, oh, I'm useless. It takes a long time to get better at simplifying. And you only get better by making mistakes, yeah? And for example, I know immediately because I've got so many years experience that you've changed objective to aim to goal is all the same level of language. And then you changed one of the words to achieve. And again, it was the same level of language. So we bring it down to do or to get. It's experience. That's part of the using communities of practice. I'm also linked into the communities of practice. I'm there if anyone needs advice or what other word or synonyms or something like that to bring the language level down. So we're not translating anything. We're not changing content. We're still subject teaching, but we're making it understandable. Okay. Oh, back. Middle one for back, isn't it? Okay. So now I've chosen some lovely sentences and I want you to bring them down to a level that your students would understand. Now, all of these are from an academic paper, academic research. And academic research and some of your publishers that are American or British love to use big, confusing words. Sorry? Ah, English for, no, please, that's why I'm here. English for academic purposes, yeah? So you've got English for academic purposes and yours is English for specific purposes as in target subjects, yeah? So it's just specific language. So I'll give you a few minutes and see if we can make these simpler so that your students can understand. How do you stay so slim, Dwayne? No. Sorry? So there's a lot of big words in there. We have this, sorry? Tematize. Okay. So what did you do yesterday in your presentation? You talked about the root word. So what would the root word of... Yes. Yes. Tematize, to put in themes, yeah? And that's something that you can also teach your students about, something we will look at a little bit later on, about root words, bringing the words back to their base and looking at the meaning of the root word. And that also helps your students to understand. Lots of these strategies the students will need to get used to. Yeah, they'll need to get used to your new way of teaching. So you'll need to repeat the strategies time and time again, but you'll find it becomes automatic. So, for example, what I did with Dwee now, because she did it yesterday, was fairly automatic. And your students will get used to it and they'll become more automatic. They'll understand what a root word is and they'll take it back and they'll understand the meaning of the word. So they're all different strategies that you can use to get them to understand in a simpler way. You don't, when we're simplifying, when we're making it easier, we don't need to change word for word. It's the overall meaning, okay? So you're very quiet. Can you describe to me what the first, and it is ridiculous, and I chose it because it's quite ridiculous, what the first sentence means? What's it trying to say to us?
You every basic get something that you want to get.
For this one here, can you repeat again, please?
For that, that's basically you creating basic idea.
Very, very, very close. Very close. You've changed criticise for important. Is important a synonym of criticise?
What the same custom happening?
Ah, no. Important is priority. Criticise is you're looking at something and I don't like that, I don't like that, and I don't like that. Yeah. So there's things within current theories and aims that they don't like. Yeah. And they're saying this could be better, this needs to change. So things that you need to change. Yeah. For critically optimizing current theories and aims, looking at things in a app that you need to make better and to change. Now, A1, A2 would understand that, wouldn't they? Thinks, would your students understand that? Looking at English for academic purpose ideas, trying to make them better and change them. There aren't very many complicated words in there. So don't get stuck. It's like when you're learning a language as well. Don't get stuck on a word. Don't be focusing on one word and trying to find a synonym perhaps for that one word. Because you find synonyms for all the different words and then you put them all together and it doesn't make any sense. So take the whole sentence and try to describe it. What is it telling us? Yeah, in simple language. It's really difficult. What is it telling us? It's something that I've now been in English language teaching for 17 years. And I think probably to get really good at simplification, maybe it took me about 3 years. Yeah, it's a big skill and it's something that you'll develop and get better at. Yes, something even if you have pre-entry language requirements for your students on EMI, you'll still need to do this because academic research papers like to use big, silly words. Yeah. So if you're using case studies, if you're using academic articles and journals, there will always be something that you need to simplify. There'll be always some language that you need to pre-teach because academics don't speak at A2, B1 level. So it's a skill to develop for the future. Every time you do it, you get better at it. That was very good. It was just important, your critical part, your argument against it. What about now? I like this one. There are quarrels over defining AI, battles between schools, mixed use of jargon, and debate over instruction. What does quarrel mean? Sorry?
Discourse, debate, argue.
Thank you. Argue is a nice simple word, argue. So we've got argue. I'm going to identify the words. Battles. Now, this is confusing. This is language and context. Battle is a word that can mean different things depending on context. What does it mean here?